Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast. You've got the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, the top 10 used cars of the year from Alex
Nizik.
You already forgot.
He did.
Well, I didn't change the pronouncer on my little sheet here, my
Good
cheat
thing
sheet.
Alex is here to clear it
I
all
know.
up.
Well, and thanks for pointing it all out.
We're trying.
He's from Consumer Reports, and it's all good. I'll give you my thoughts on driving the 2024 Chevy Equinox EV. And Jeff has the Motor Minute. That and more on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Our chief engineer, David Ainsley, of course, as usual, is sleeping in.
That's what I heard.
That's the rumor.
So we got a lot of show coming up for 2 hours that I think that you'll really enjoy. We've worked diligently all week long putting together.
Oh, I was laughing with you.
Oh, I see. Well, I wasn't laughing, but apparently you know something that I don't. Well, we're already off to a great start because I've did a little stumble with Mr. Nizik's last
You
name.
tripped and fell.
I tripped and fell. That's exactly. Alex Nizik, it's great to see you. Thank you for joining us today, my friend.
Sure, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good to be back on the show.
And you're up there in Connecticut,
I am
the
yes.
home of Consumer Reports.
Yes, the home of car testing, at least for Consumer Reports.
Absolutely, and we love that. And what a great job you have. How long have you had this job?
Oh, let's see, a little over 4 years now.
Lucky
So,
you.
Oh, time to
an
retire.
adventure.
Does your wife ever say to you, Alex, honey, you're going to have to come in now?
yeah.
Street lights
or
are on.
We'll be driving one of the test cars, and she's like, "Stop talking about the car. Let's have a conversation."
Let's have a
about
conversation about dinner tonight, going to the in-laws' house, something like that.
Yeah.
Stop working.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. And so let's just get right to it and talk about the top 10 best used cars. So my question right out of the box to you is, what is the profile, the data that you have in place to come up with this top 10?
Yeah, it's a great question. This is the first time we've ever done this, so we're kind of historically known for doing this with new cars, right? New car top 10 picks list every year, and you know it's interesting because we saw that doing our own research that there was about 40% of Americans that were looking to buy a car in the next year were considering used cars only, so they weren't even looking at new cars, which is pretty staggering. So it was really an opportunity and the right time we thought to really expand what we do to used cars as well. And so when it comes to this list, really, it's three big things. These cars have to have performed well in our road tests when they were new. Maybe not the best performing car, but they had to perform, above a certain bar. They have to be safe. And so that means they all have standard electronic stability control, which we know became, mandatory in 2012, but a lot of cars had it sooner, right? So that has to be standard. And then the last thing is reliability. Reliability is probably the most important thing. We talk to consumers and we know that when they're shopping for a car,
Totally agree.
yeah, especially used, right? You're trying to save money. So if you buy something reliable, it's going to help you do that, not only because it's going to cost less to own and break down less, but it's also going to be less of a hassle. So just that car has to have consistent reliability throughout its model year. So
Was there an age limit in these cars?
Yeah, I mean, about 10 years old is where we kept it to. But it's really about the way they're categorized is by vehicle type. So we have, SUVs and sports cars and sedans, that type of thing. And then also price brackets. So when we look at the average price of a used car, it's still $30,000 is what people are paying on average, which is still a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, that's on average, right? You're considering a lot of cars with that number, but we wanted to show that you can get a safe, reliable used car even lower. So our first, category, and the one that kind of surprised me the most, honestly, is our under $10,000 category. And we have the 2017 Chevrolet Cruze in there. Not necessarily a top pick when it was new, but now that car's depreciated pretty nicely. It's still reliable over time, according to our data that we get back from our members. And, it's a pretty new car, right? 2017, relatively speaking. That's a lot of car for under $10,000. So that's kind of the methodology of the list.
You're not going to find one on the drag strip, but I get where you're coming from.
Right. And the question I have is how many of those that you've categorized that they make anymore? And, are parts still available? I'm sure there are, but do they make them at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the older vehicles on the list. And, Yeah, and we really had to do our due diligence to make sure that you could actually find these vehicles
Right.
too, right? Because the way the pricing is done is it's the median price of the car. So yes, you'll find some 2017 or 2018 Cruises that are above that price, below that price. But we needed to make sure that there are actually some listings out there that you can go find and buy at this price.
And
So
those folks that don't know, this is a mid or a small four-door sedan.
Right.
correct. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is. Yep. Yep. Go ahead.
When you look at these things and you're considering the price, do you look at the mileage on them, or you just take these are the vehicles we're looking at and this is the mileage, just is what it is?
Yeah, I mean, mileage is important. I mean, we don't necessarily have a threshold that, okay, you have to be able to find a car that's under 50,000 miles, for example, to make it on the list. Now, yes, this Cruise example, right, being under $10,000 and being a 2017 is probably going to have higher miles. I know when I did my own search in preparation for all this, I was finding some, 75,000 miles, some over 100 for sure. So that, I think that really speaks to the fact that you really have to look at the ownership history of the car. You have to check that Carfax, make sure that see if it was a rental, see if it was maintained properly, all that type of stuff, right? Because buying a used car is just a different experience than buying a new car. If I'm looking at two new Camrys on the lot, I can be pretty confident that they're going to be similar. But if you're looking at used, you really have to take it a step further and test drive it, inspect it, that sort of thing.
So what's the next money threshold here after $10,000? 20?
Yeah, 20 is one, and I think we do have a $15,000 category as well. So that's the Hyundai Elantra, 2019. So getting a little bit newer. Again, a small four-door hatchback, or not hatchback, sedan, right? So very similar, just a little bit newer. And I think it's important to say we always recommend at CR to buy the most safety that you can afford. And what that really means is buy the newest model year car that fits within your budget. So that's really what a lot of the cars on this list do, is they've depreciated more than their direct competitors while still having that reliability, right? So if you wanted to go buy, in this case, a 2019 Corolla, right, the direct competitor from Toyota, it's going to be more. Or if you wanted to stick to that $15,000 threshold, it's gonna be an older car. So this list kind of helps you get the newest car that fits within these price brackets.
Next up.
Yep.
Next up.
Next up. Here, let's go to I think this one's interesting. Hybrid, under $20,000.
Really?
Yeah, Toyota Corolla hybrid, and it's 2021. So I think this is one of the cars that we end up recommending the most.
I was just going to say, because that sounds really enticing, a car that's relatively new that you might even find, I'm just guessing here, you might even find on a dealer lot as a certified used.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like this one too, because those other cars that I just mentioned, I mean, the Cruise is discontinued at this point, and the Elantra, that's a generation behind.
Yep.
This is the current generation Corolla, and exactly to your point, you could probably find one of these cars CPO, certified pre-owned, and that's CPO in general is a pretty awesome option. If you'll pay a little bit more. We see about 2 to 3% more.
That's all. See, I thought it would be more than that, but.
Yeah, on average, right?
Okay.
Compared to that non-CPO version. But we see through our own, research and data from our members that they're more satisfied if they buy CPO and they have less problems. So you're kind of buying convenience, right, and peace of mind, because that car's
absolutely.
Yeah, more peace of mind than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that there's a lot of misconception out there that CPO can be, a gimmick or whatever, but it, at least on average, tends to work out for people and they tend to be happy with it.
Yes.
So that's a great option. I think, the CX-9 is our 3-row SUV under $20,000 category.
Is that the Mazda?
Mazda, yeah. Kind of an under-the-radar choice, I think, because...
I agree.
Yeah, it is discontinued. It's been replaced by the CX-90 at this point.
Right.
But it's a good car, and everybody's thinking about Toyota Highlanders and Honda Pilots and these other 3-row competitor SUVs, right? But this one, so the model year we have on this is 2020. So again, it's a pretty new car.
Do recalls come into the play on those decisions? Like let's take the Corolla for example. There might be a theory. Well, there's been 10 recalls on it. Are they all taken care of? What were they? Takata bags and things of that nature. Is all that considered in there? Or is that part of it?
It's not because, we try to separate recalls from reliability just because, a recall can be performed generally for free, right? That's how they work. You go and get them fixed for free. So it really, we just always advise to just make sure that the car if it has any open recalls, that they've been addressed.
Yeah.
That is important. But, if a
Well,
car
in that regard, too, we're not talking about a transmission recall on a million vehicles. I did one the other day. It was a recall. It had a 50,000 vehicle recall on a sticker underneath the hood that was wrong. I mean, who cares?
Safety or convenience?
Well,
those are the two categories.
Yeah, and typically
Right.
a recall, it's kind of a one and done. Here, we got this one problem, you fix it. Doesn't really say that reliability is going to have continued problem after problem after problem. It's kind of a different category.
So let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah. And to that point real quick, just if, we're not unaware of these recalls. So if there was some giant recall that we know was a huge problem that caused like a do not drive, we're not going to put the car on the list.
Right.
If it's a big enough thing like that.
Sure.
Luxury SUV under $20,000, Buick Envision 2020, I think
there you
in a
go.
similar
Under 20?
under 20.
That's a nice car for
Yeah, it
under
is.
20.
a lot of car for
That's
under 20.
the one I was thinking about
Yes.
when I.
Yeah. So, again, it maybe not the best performing vehicle when it was new. It's not going to be, tearing up your local back roads or anything necessarily, but it's going to be comfortable and, it's got proven reliability.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
haven't
great,
seen Mike
that's
drive,
a great
though.
pick. Yeah, we haven't
Yeah,
seen
and-
Mike drive.
And if you're interested, and if you want to stick to a domestic brand, that helps you do that.
Yeah.
So, again, an under the radar choice that I think is a pretty nice
Perfect.
one.
I like it.
This one, I personally like this one as our prior conversation. Pickup truck under $20,000, Toyota Tacoma 2015.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Down
Okay,
here
so-
in Texas, I don't know if even if the Tacoma has got 4 million miles on it, I don't know as if you could get it for under 20.
It's gonna be.
Not
It's gonna maybe
anything
take
new.
you a little bit more work to find the under $20,000
Yes,
version.
right.
But they are out there. I did make sure.
Gotcha. Okay, that's next.
Yeah. So I mean, with this car, just your mileage threshold is a little higher. Assuming that check the frame. We know that these trucks tend to have, maybe not in Texas, but if you're in the Northeast like I am,
Rust issues.
the frame is solid, and that speaks to getting the
Correct.
car inspected.
Yes.
But pretty solid truck. Can't go wrong. The answer is always Miata. So sports car under $20,000. The 2019 MX-5. So goes kind of without saying.
Yes.
On that one. And I like this too because the Miata got a pretty big performance upgrade in 2018. So you can still get all those upgrades, the 2019 version for under $20,000. So, and it's a stick shift. So.
Yeah. Well,
That
and
makes it nice.
if I've got a daughter that's going off to college, that may
Yeah.
be a pick. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
hey, it's dependable, it's reliable, it's a cute car for a girl, especially.
And you can't pile 20 kids in there to have a big
Well,
party
there-
going down the
that's the
road.
thing.
There
right
is
there.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you can't fit too many people in it.
Right.
Yeah, what I don't hear any Kias or any Hyundais in this.
Do you have
Yeah.
any of those?
We did have the Hyundai Elantra under $15,000
Okay.
category,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
2019 Elantra, and then our small SUV under 20,000 2021 Kia Sportage
Okay.
is on there as well. So that's a compact SUV, the prior generation, pretty good car. Generation spans from 2017 to 2022. So again, you're kind of getting a car that's towards the end of that generation, so reliability is up there, and yeah, pretty solid car. I think, and that topic of generations, I think, is important too when you're shopping for a used car. So generations being, let's say a car gets redesigned in 2015, it's all new, and it lasts for, 6, 7, 8 years
Yep.
before it comes out. Because we're talking about individual model years here, right? 2021 Kia Sportage in this case. But maybe you go and you start looking and you find a better deal on a 2020 or a 2022, some adjacent model year. So it's important to just understand which generation of car you're shopping in within, and then if you go to our site, cr.org, you'll be able to see all of the reliability information for all the model years. So you'll be able to, kind of be confident that, okay, I didn't find the exact model year you're talking about, but I can be confident this one's going to be good too. So,
And so what is the number one on your used car list, regardless of price?
oh gosh, I mean, we didn't necessarily rank them as far as, sequentially in order. If I had to choose one,
Yeah.
I mean, just like
Now, you've been married a while. Do you have children?
I do not. No.
You do not. Okay, so I guess it would depend on whether you have children or not. But I would say, okay, if you've a young family and you got a kid or two, you definitely want, I think, a two-row SUV that gets decent gas mileage and is reliable.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly what I was just about to say, because the one I haven't mentioned yet is the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, under $20,000.
Totally agree.
2018.
Yeah.
I mean, bread and butter Toyota hybrid system, super
See a lot of them.
efficient, and it's going to be reliable.
So it's 6 years old, and it was a 6-year-old vehicle. I would say you could probably find one, a good, decent one that's not been wrecked or mutilated, under 50,000 miles.
Yes, I mean, I don't have the mileages right in front of me, but yeah, that seems reasonable. You're going to be able to, get a car, especially going with something like Toyota. That car's got a lot of life in front of it, so
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily be scared of 50,000 miles the same way I would be with, something from another brand.
I agree.
Gotcha.
I agree. Well, so all this information available on cr.com? I'm sorry, org, isn't it?
Yeah, cr.org/used cars. And that /used cars is super important. That's where you're going to find all the information on these cars. And we also did, for the first time, ranked all the brands by their used car reliability. So we looked at,
Wow.
Cars 5 to 10 years old, and we brought all our reliability information together, and you can see which brands are most reliable and which ones
So
aren't.
that college education is paying off.
You could say that.
Alex, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much. We thoroughly enjoyed
You
it.
betcha.
Great information, cr.org/used cars. You take care of yourself and enjoy the nice weather up there in Connecticut.
Thank you. All right,
Thank
you guys
you.
too. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
You bet. That was fun.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can catch the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our live 2-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show will continue right after this quick break. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipe means when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the first Lupe Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here is the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katie's another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located on 99 the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station. Located just around the corner from Kyle Field, it's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Going to Louisiana, the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont is on I-10, so you can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants has the best Tex-Mex anywhere, and you're invited anytime. Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your cars finish without a full repaint. Searching for the real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get that thing protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need or can't afford. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See the state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today, and online at gcautoshield.com. You know, fall is right around the corner, and the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show has some remote broadcasts lined up, including Woody's Waterfront Car Show, September 28th, Hemi Hideout Open House, November the 9th, Houston Autorama, Thanksgiving weekend, and we've got a brand new one that's coming up, and that is the Lone Star... No.
No.
The LCC.
It's the Space City Corvette.
That's it. Space
Their car show. It's part of apparently a big fall festival thing they have down in
Friendswood.
Friendswood.
And when is it?
October the 12th.
Just calm down because I've got
October
it on my cruising. So I've got the dates and stuff on that.
Very good. Well,
There
we're
you
not
go.
okay. So we got all that coming up.
Yeah.
We hope that you'll stop by and say hello when we're on our remote broadcast thing.
Got it all.
Time now for the Motor Minute. Jeff's
Yes,
got that.
I've got an update. Our friend Bruce, a couple weeks ago, looking for the swatch for his special edition. Well, they found it. Finally got some information out of General Motors. They told him how to read the codes on his build sheet and on the Romaroni. So he did find out about it. He did get the information he wanted, and he's moving forward with the swatch. So thank you all out there. The check's in the mail. The other thing I have, we've got some new subscribers. We get subscriber emails, Mike and I do, from people. We've got Jana is a new subscriber. Kevin is a new subscriber. A person by the name of Tanner. And then we've got Cherie.
Welcome.
Are all new subscribers
thanks
with
so
us.
much.
I've got all their information, but I'm going to keep that here. So there you go.
You're not
That's
going
my-
to publish their
No,
information
we don't
or
do
their
that.
telephone
No,
number or
no,
anything
no,
like
no.
that? Oh,
We got a couple others
He's
coming up,
saving
and
it.
as I get these, I'll say hi and thank you on the
And by the way,
airport.
we don't
Appreciate it.
sell your information
No, we
or
don't.
any of that
We
sort of
don't.
stuff. All right, time now for this hour's car review. I got to drive the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV. Okay, this is a pure electric, and well, listen up. So it comes in all of these trim levels: 2LT, 2RS, 3LT, 3RS, and 2RS Launch Edition. I drove the Chevy Equinox EV 2RS. This is a small SUV, although I don't know who says it's small, because it really didn't feel like it
it's
was
midsize.
small
I think
to
it's
me.
just because it's not big.
I want to point out that this has very little connection to the gasoline version Chevy Equinox. This is a completely different vehicle. It's all new. I don't know why these companies do this. The Mustang Mach-E. No, it's a Mustang. Name it something else, okay? So, whatever. I'm sure that they've done all the research, and
name
I'm
it
just stupid, but
Camaro
whatever.
or something.
Yeah, it just doesn't work for me. It sits on the Ultium platform, which is the skateboard that underlies all of the new EVs that are currently coming out of General Motors, and it's nice. It's all new for 2024. Slick, wind-cheating front fascia that looks good. Different for each trim is the nose of it. Sculpted sides with a forward-canted C-pillar. That's the one at the very back of the car. Upscale-looking lighting front and rear. Rear hatch has an integrated sunshade over it. Overall exterior design gets an A+ rating from yours truly. What I liked about it, the modern but classy look about this. What could use improvement? Offer a sportier design, just an idea, with hot rodders in mind. Doesn't have to change anything other than make it racier. Put some different wheels on it or whatever. Interior highlights include a 17.7-inch. You got that 17. That's bigger than a foot. Center touchscreen. Android base, by the way, with a separate gauge screen up front of the driver. Fabric seating surfaces are absolutely awesome in this. I don't know what the fascination is with leather, but boy, I'll say this, that so many of these manufacturers these days are really putting some nice materials in the car besides leather. Yes, less leg room in the second row. There is room back there. It's plenty, but it's a two-row. Easy to get in and out of. Plenty of cargo and trunk room, especially with the second row down. What I liked about it, lots of standard features in this. What could use improvement? I just put a big question mark because I don't know. It's pretty good to me. Electric dual motor, 3,300 option. Horsepower, 213 with the single motor. Torque is 236 pound-feet. One-speed automatic transmission. Doesn't have a transmission. It's direct drive. 1,500 pounds of towing capability, which isn't much. You don't want to tow with this. Miles per gallon, 101 in the city and 90 on the highway for a combined a 319-mile range. I traveled 278 miles. I plugged it into the 110 outlet here at the house overnight, and then I got to work, which was 30 miles away. I plugged it in again, and I always kept close to a 100% charge on it.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah. So I've kind of figured out how to ease my pain when it comes to angst on these electric cars.
There you go.
Level 2 charger at home would be perfect for me here. Ride and handling. What I liked about it was absolutely everything. Smooth, comfortable ride, easily handled. What could use improvement? It still feels heavier than a gasoline-powered car. Now, it's only 500 pounds heavier than a gasoline version of this car, but still at 4,923 pounds, it's heavy, and it feels heavy.
Oh.
But it's a battery car, so it's going to be heavy.
But it's not sluggish. It's not.
No, oh God, no, not at all. Absolutely not. Base print trim price on this, $43,400. Price is tested $50,795. Comes with an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the batteries.
Wow.
Base model price is $41,900. The Super Cruise option was on this particular car. That is a $2,700 option that I could do without. It's novel, but it doesn't apply around town at all. I don't know. I like to drive. I like to have my hands on the wheel, and I like to drive the car. So the Cruise option. If you're a salesman and you drive back and forth to Dallas all the time, more power to you. Get that, but it's
even
not
in
for
that,
me.
if you're in traffic like we have, people cutting in and out.
Well, I've driven with him, so it's good that he's got his hands on the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Competitors to the vehicle, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 for $41,800. Now remember, the base model price on this Equinox is $41,900 for the EV. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 is a direct competitor. It sells for $41,800 starting price. Mustang Mach-E starts at $39,995. The Kia EV6 is $42,600. So they're all right there within a $3,000 price range. Do your shopping. I think that you're really going to like this vehicle. Yeah. I did. And the interior is just beautiful.
And then a step up from that would be the Lyriq.
I didn't even think that it was a Chevrolet.
No,
it's a good-looking car.
It really is. And the interior, really, they've stepped it up, buddy.
I had several people comment on how it looked, and even the postman was walking by while I was out there taking a few pictures of it.
Hey, what's that?
That's what he said. He said, man, that's a nice-looking car.
Yeah.
And he said, what is it? I told him, it's Chevrolet. That's a Chevrolet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yours was an RS, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an RS.
So it's sportier.
A little...
Just a tag.
Yeah. Trim level options, basically. Yeah. Like I said, it did have other options, but I was
it was a good-looking car.
Yeah, I liked it. Okay. That's the review of the 2024 Chevy Equinox EV. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. Our address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We are back right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show brings you great guest interviews each week from manufacturers and suppliers to the aftermarket, racers, enthusiasts, and other friends just like you and me who love to talk about all things automotive. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show takes it to the road, too, with remotes at Tailpipes and Tacos, Woody's Waterfront Car Show, and the Hemi Hideout. In Wheel Time's live video and audio stream can be found on the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, Facebook, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon Central Time, or grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.